My story begins like a lot of people who have visual snow syndrome. One day, my vision changed, and nobody around me had answers to what was wrong with me. I saw two different eye doctors, both of who told me I was perfectly normal, but I wasn't normal. I've experienced normal, and what I was seeing was far from that. I saw static, eye floaters, and what looked like tadpoles swimming in my vision. I was sensitive to light, and I felt like I was living in a video game. And not to mention, my anxiety and depression were through the roof. I ended up spending a lot of time in my room writing music, poetry, and playing video games. That was the only thing that took my mind off of what I was experiencing. I would try to find ways to cope, but I'd always have this looming feeling of, what if I have a brain tumor or something else super life-threatening wrong with me? I needed answers, and previously I would avoid searching things online because I would end up self-diagnosing myself with all kinds of illness, and that would just lead to more stress. Thankfully, the last time I searched online, I found a YouTube video by Matthew Renzi talking about visual snow and its relationship to tinnitus. After watching that video, I ended up on the Visual Snow Initiative's website, and I was just blown away because everything I was experiencing was right there. I scheduled an eye doctor appointment and was able to reference what was on the Visual Snow Initiative's page, and he was like, "Yep, you have visual snow." Finally, I was validated and had an understanding of what was wrong with me. Before I left the eye doctor, he told me something that ended up being pretty profound for me. He said, train your eyes to focus on what you're looking at. Ignore the static, don't look at the floaters, and choose to focus on the beautiful things behind them. And that hit home for me. What he said was really a metaphor for life. I may have bad things happening to me, or I may feel low, but there's always something to be grateful for. Like, I see static 24/7, but there's people who can't see it all that would love to see what I see. Even before visual snow, I struggled with things like depression and anxiety, and I still do, but I've been able to develop better ways of coping with my battles, and I don't know if I could have done that without my visual snow diagnosis. My mind has always been prone to ruminating thoughts, but once I developed visual snow, this just got significantly worse. I found myself obsessing over my visual snow 24/7, and it was just exhausting, and it put me in a really dark place. Something that helped me climb out of that hole was music. Being able to channel the way I was feeling, and instead of focusing on all these negative things I was going through, to be able to focus on making music and writing a cohesive song, like, that to me was just amazing and almost meditative in so many ways. Recently, while sharing my music online, I came across a post that the Visual Snow Initiative put on Instagram, and it said, "Your world versus my world." And that reminded me of a poem I wrote in 2020 about me expressing how my visual snow syndrome felt to me. So I'm going to share it with you guys. This poem is called My World. Explaining this is not easy because I have so much to say, and every time I talk, they look confused and walk away. It's left me with the blues. I've got a bruise that is opaque, because no matter what I do, they'll never know what causes my pain. This is my world. I've got fireworks flying in my vision, call me pyro. The world is spinning and I feel myself living in a spiral. I'm one misstep from breaking down, they eye roll. I know there's more here, I feel it in my soul. This is my world. I feel the tension, I need a distraction, something to give relief. I've got a list of things I've tried and nothing ends the grief. I feel like something was stolen from me and they haven't found the thief. I'm living in an endless winter. What's a tree without its leaves? This is my world. I hate to admit it, but I've cried every day this week and I'm barely getting by. Battle after battle, I'm starting to ask, why should I continue to try? It's getting dark in here. The floorboards are creaking louder and louder. New enemies are piling on top of me. It's getting hard to breathe. I'm starting to panic. My anxiety goes from a skyscraper to a planet. This is my world. And to have the opportunity to write a song about visual snow to me just means the world. I'm so grateful for everyone who sent me their responses and how they've dealt with this condition. It was really, really inspiring. It's helped me feel less alone. People don't understand what it's like living with visual snow syndrome. I wanted to tell our story, and I wanted to get people who have visual snow involved. I asked the VSI if they'd be willing to help me collect responses from the community. They said yes, and were so receptive and willing to help, and I could not have done this whole thing without them. Thank you, VSI. Reading through our responses gave me a mixed bag of emotions. Some people were doing really good with visual snow and were very optimistic. Other people, not so much. They were struggling, and you could tell that it was affecting them on a daily basis. And I've been on both sides of that equation, and I really feel for the people that are struggling daily. to capture that more despair side of it, we wrote lines like, I hear you creep up and you ask me a question. Do you want anxiety besides your depression? That's heavy stuff. A more optimistic turn on things, we wrote lines like, want to feel good, looking for change. Life doesn't have to be this way. There is possibility for change. There is a way to become more optimistic. That's different for everybody. For some people, it's going to be easier to overcome visual snow, and other people, it's going to be really hard. I just think we have to keep our hope for a cure, but also just hope that we have the power inside of us to live a better life, and whatever that means to us. I feel super lucky to have people as talented as Josh and Elliot in my life, and the fact I get to call them my friends is even crazier. But I have to be honest, when I first started working on this project with them, I was a little intimidated. Both of them are like legit musicians. They've been in bands, they've toured. I didn't feel like I belonged in that environment just because I primarily have made music in my room. But working on the song with them, it was really cool. They made me feel welcome. So put the chorus on for the ones who. So put the chorus on for the ones who.
Nice.
That's great.
I was thinking that'd be a great
Yeah.
section of time. Let's try that. Welcome to my world. That's how it'll be.
Intrusive thoughts when it's spreading, yeah, it's viral. Life's a game and I play it on survival.
I have a feeling that like sets you up for success for the rest of the phrase.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, if you even look at the waveform on this one, you sing never just like a little bit earlier, and then the rest of it is like on. But this one we just did, like it's behind by a couple like milliseconds, and then it slows you down as you go on. And I think when you make a song like My World, it helps you connect with people on a different level, because ultimately the song is about mental health, the struggles with visual snow. And on some level, we all struggle with that. So we were able to connect around that piece. And I definitely feel like I got closer with them through writing this song and working on it. I'm just grateful for them in this process. And having them on the outro just made the song, to me, like perfect. So yeah, shout out to them. It was great working with them.
Yeah, I just remember finesse, nice and easy. Smile through it, have fun. Yeah.
Welcome to my world. I'm 24/7 living in a spiral. Intrusive thoughts when it's spreading, yeah, it's viral. Life's a game and I play it on survival. Seeing stars even though it isn't night. I love the beach but there's sand in my eyes. I'm climbing peaks but the view is out of sight. The silence speaks, I can see it. Feel the curtain falling. Hear the curtain calling.
Life's upside down. Stranger things have happened, but I'm up right now. Maybe it's the metrics of my superpower.
We wanted to show everybody's experience with visual snow in our music video, but we got so many responses that just became impossible. So what we did is we created a second video that can be found in the description, where we showcase everybody's experience with visual snow. I encourage you guys to go there, check it out, comment, have some dialogue with people who have visual snow, and find community and find people to lean on there and help other people as well. And I'll jump in there too. We can talk and just help each other out as much as possible. I'm going to share with you guys a visual snow response to connect it with my personal struggle with visual snow. What affects me the most is the colorful after images. Many times I've just not been able to make out what is around me. The colors are too bright to make out the shapes and shadows. I struggle to look outside, whether it's a bright sunny day or a cold blanket of snow. It's blinding. Everything gets worse when it's bright out. I consistently lose touch with reality, and it creates a mental barrier between what I see and what is real. I always feel disconnected, and my eyes always remind me that there is something wrong with me. There are so many aspects of visual snow that lead to suffering, and personally for me, one of the biggest things I've struggled with is the mental barrier between what is real and what I see. I find myself in moments where I'm supposed to be focused and in the moment and enjoying things, but instead I'm focused on my visual snow, and I'm just not enjoying where I'm at or what I'm doing. And that starts to weigh on you, especially when you have to do it day after day after day. And I'd find myself alone in my room just trying to make my visual snow stop, just focusing so hard, and it wouldn't go away. And it would start to give me like panic attacks. And what do you do when you literally can't escape this thing, and it just consumes you? This is not easy, and it's so hard because I wasn't born like this. This came on to me 5 years ago, and it's like you have to relearn how to live. And it's not an easy task, and I just commend so many people who are able to be strong through this whole thing. It's not easy to do, and the people that are struggling, like, those struggles are real, and I feel that. And I just nobody should be alone in this. And I think there's such a great opportunity for all of us to come together and just help each other. And I really just hope this song impacts people positively. There's nothing more important to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people, than helping others and being able to just build each other up. And I don't want anyone to go through this alone.